Hello and welcome to this video on what is Power Platform. This is a very nice video because it really gives you the power by using Power Platform. Um, if you're a functional consultant for Dynamics, I would really recommend learning Power Platform because it really gives you the leverage and the power to build powerful solutions, which earlier was not possible. Um, I'll get right into the content on what is Power Platform, what are the different components of Power Platform, and how do we use Power Platform in our daily life working as a Dynamics consultant. How can we use Power Platform to make Dynamics a lot more powerful than what it is right now? We'll talk about the limitations of Dynamics earlier before Power Platform came in, and we're also going to see how do we resolve those limitations using Power Platform. So, what is Power Platform? If you look at this picture, I'm going to quickly zoom in so that it's uh, it's easier for you to read. Power Platform consists of these components: Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, virtual agents, Power Pages, and then you have other additions like data connectors, AI Builder, and Dataverse. If you look at these descriptions along with their names, it already explains a lot about what these components stand for. Power BI is used for analytics. When you make an application, it's nice that users are creating a record. A lot of cases are being created. Let's take an instance. But you want to be able to, as a manager, be able to report on very key important metrics that are relevant for your business, such as I want to be able to measure how many cases I'm getting on a monthly basis. Who are my best agents? Who are solving case very fast? And for which agents I need to have discussion. Okay, how can we make it better for you? So that's where Power BI comes in. It allows you to in a flexible way connect to your data source, one or multiple, and try to get a very aggregated and a nice view of how are you doing as a customer service department. You can apply the same concept on different departments. For this whole exercise, I'm just going to use customer service, and then after Power BI, we have Power Apps, and this is about app development. Power Apps are basically of two kinds: model-driven app and Canvas app. There are details, but if I would say more, then I would focus on Canvas apps because model-driven apps, if you work with customer service, if you're a Dynamics consultant, you already know about them. But Canvas apps basically allows you to do something that earlier it was not possible for you to do. You did not have a blank canvas where you can start painting and make something visually more intuitive for your users. You always had to work in the framework of model driven apps. And that's where the evolution of Canvas apps came. And just to go a step back on Power BI, I want to give you the same context as to why Power BI is now relevant and how it makes Dynamics more powerful is because the regular dashboards that are available within Dynamics for you to configure, they also have very limited capabilities. It would take a lot of time for you to connect all the data sources, get the data in Dynamics, and start building dashboard on top of it. But with the evolution of Power BI and its native capabilities to connect to Dynamics and just embed dashboards in Dynamics is very impressive. You can connect to different data sources, but build dashboards in the visuals that you would like. So, from a branding perspective, but from a visually intuitive point of view, Power BI really takes it to the next level. So, that's why it's super important. We talked about Power BI, we talked about Power Apps. Let's move to Power Automate. Why is Power Automate super important? Power Automate is one of the most used component in the context of Dynamics. This cannot be underestimated. Power Automate, if you have the knowledge of that, it gives you loads and loads of artilleries to start customizing and extending the platform. Previously, with workflows, there were a lot of possibilities in terms of automations. You could easily create a workflow to send emails. You could easily create a workflow to also create additional records, update the existing record or any record that's related to a case. But when it comes to accessing multiple records at the same time, so let's take an example. If I create a case, I want to be able to access all the related queues and their properties, and then depending on one of the case values, I want to pick the right queue record. It wouldn't have been possible. All this complex logic, if this happens, then get all these records and then for all these records, check this property, and then get more records. It wasn't possible with the legacy workflows. It's still not possible. But Power Platform gives you that platform to be able to access the whole database regardless. So as long as you have a logic to work with, Power Platform gives you the whole flexibility to to query a database, but also interact with them in any capacity for any CRUD operations. By CRUD, I mean create, read, update, and delete. There are limitless possibilities. But it's not just about Dataverse. Power Automate also gives you the possibility to connect to Dataverse, but also to other Dataverse sources quite natively as well. It also gives you access to a lot of the underlying components like AI Builder. So if I want to, for example, create sentiment analysis on the email that we're getting from the customers, and run that sentiment analysis and get some sentiments out of it using pre-built AI models that Microsoft has prepared for you to leverage on. You could just easily add a step, say AI builder, sentiment analysis, and then run that analysis on that email record every time an email is created, and then get an output, positive, negative, or neutral, and then use that input to further create additional activities. All that would have been never possible with the legacy workflows. So that's why Power Automate is very powerful. It allows you to have scheduled jobs. Like, I want some automations to run every day. Every day I want to check how many invoices that I have that are unpaid. Scheduled job was not possible also with the legacy workflows. So Power Automate really takes it to the next level when it comes to automation. And then we have Power Virtual Agents. Power Virtual Agents are basically bots. They allow you to expose bots, and that's basically trying to pretend as users, and things that are standard, where you can use logics and existing data within your database to answer customer queries. That's where Power Virtual Agents come in. And they are very flexible. If you want to create them, it's just again drag and drop, and then that's the end of it. And it's very easy to embed these bots to a website, or also talk to your customer and transfer them to Dynamics, because Dynamics customer service also has a possibility to receive phone calls, and these phone calls, before they even come in Dynamics, they can be handed over by a bot. So the bot can actually read out some welcome message, and it can also interact with the customer to get some feedback. Hey, are you calling for an existing case? Oh, okay, then is this your case number? Okay, this is the status. And if the customer wants to escalate, it can easily be escalated to Dynamics. So that's what the value add of Power Virtual Agents is. And that was, again, never in Dynamics. If you want something like this, you'll have to build something entirely yourself. And now all you need to do is a couple of clicks and you have a bot ready to use in the language that you want. So that makes it mega powerful. And then at the last, we have Power Pages. And Power Pages goes about exposing capabilities to your customers, allowing them to self-service. So in this case, you expose a portal like a website to your customers, and you tell them, hey, do you want to check your case status? Just log in your portal and do it. Do you want to create a new case? Log in the portal and do it by yourself. Otherwise, someone had to call or send an email, and then your agents need to do a couple of things, create cases, talk to them, blah blah. But now all of this can be delegated to Power Pages. So these are the five very essential components of Power Platform. Again, if I were to put priorities on them, I would put Power Automate as one of the best features in Power Platform, because it allows you to automate things without any hassle, with almost no code, low code. And then I would say Power BI, and then I would say Power Apps, and then Power Virtual Agents, and Power Pages. And this is also based on how much a capability of Power Platform is used in the market right now in terms of intensity. So Power Automates, they are going to be used almost every day. You're building automations on a daily basis for sure. You're building workflows on a daily basis for sure. And then you have data connectors, AI Builder, and Dataverse. Dataverse is nothing but a different name for the database of Microsoft Dynamics. That's how you call it, Dataverse. And that's basically a dedicated connector in Automate that's available for you to leverage on. It can do a lot of operations like creating a new record, checking records, list rows, add a new row, update rows, etc., etc. This is getting a bit technical, so I'm going to refrain from that. And then you have other data connectors like Bing Maps or Adobe or any other third-party tools can also be an option. So they're by default there. So you don't need to, if you want to query, let's say, a weather forecast to be able to schedule things for your customers based on how the weather is, or prepone or postpone things automatically, then you don't need to build anything with Bing Maps. It's just there. You can just get a weather forecast, and depending on the weather forecast, you can make decisions. So that's what, in a nutshell, Power Platform is. So now that we have seen what Power Platform is, let's see what it really means in practice. What does it? What did it really change? How does it really fit together with Dynamics in the first place? And for that, I have an example. Let's start with the traditional way. If you want to make customizations to your environment, let's say if you want to create a new field, or if you want to make any new form, a view, or build any kind of automation or workflows or dashboards, you need to first go into customization and then click on customizations and then customize the system. What you see is that by default I'm working on an environment level, and that's where I need to start off with in the first place. And this is how the customization page earlier looked like. It looks pretty outdated. It looks like it goes back decades, and it's not really very visually intuitive as well. You have entities, option sets, etc., etc., model driven apps, um, and then a lot of other stuff. Again, I don't find it very visually intuitive, and it's also not very much capable in allowing to extend your platform. And with the evolution of Power Platform, now customizing any environment or any system happens from a different website. So you don't necessarily need to go and open the environment and then go to customization and click on customize the system. You can basically click on make.powerapps.com. So I'm going to do it for you here. I'm going to show you what it looks like customizing with Power Platform. What has changed? So one of the key capabilities of this platform is that it's basically a completely different website. The URL doesn't even match with the URL of what I'm using as an environment. It has nothing to do with it. It's just a new URL, a platform where you navigate to, and it basically has access to all the environment, but more than that, available on this portal. That's how I'd like to call it. And Power Platform itself is not something that's built inside Dynamics. It's completely different. It's totally disconnected when it's built, but it still connects to the environment on the back end to show you what you have as an organization. So here you have the option to select environments. You can have multiple environments like you see. You could have hundreds of environments all lying here. And if you want to customize an environment, you don't need to open it. You just select one of the environments here, and then all you need to do is go to your solutions and start editing it. So when I click on solution, unlike how we saw there in the old view, which looks like this, super ugly, super not intuitive to work with, this is quite extensible, quite easy to understand as well. And you see also options like chatbots, cloud flows, which is cloud flow is also referred to as Power Automate, what we saw earlier as one of the components. um, and here you have the option to basically do whatever you want. So if you want to create an app, you can create a canvas app and a model driven app. The model driven app, if you are already experienced with Dynamics, it's the app that you get by default from Dynamics. As I mentioned, it's a framework that you always are supposed to follow. But with Canvas app, it gives you a fresh new canvas, and it's so easy to build. Also, that Canvas app, it has very native capabilities to integrate with Dynamics. Then we have automations, and this is where you see the cloud flows, which you can create automated, instant, or scheduled. Which earlier were these workflows, actions, and business rules. These were the legacy workflows. So when I click on this workflow, just to show you how it used to look like, that's the workflow. And then select a table. So I will select here case, and then I say start from blank and create. And now I'm creating this, and this is again a legacy workflow. Earlier, this is how we used to create them and how it used to look like. So again, super visually non-intuitive and very limited in capabilities compared with cloud flows. And how does creating a cloud flow look like? I'm not creating anything. I'm just showing you. So I'm going to click on automated, and how it looks like is like this. I give it a name. Mm, Connect to SharePoint. Now you see here you already have so many connectors to use from. I say, and if I want to use Dynamics, I would say Dataverse, because if I want to connect to Dynamics, all I need to do is just type Dataverse, and I say I want this automation to go off when a record is added, created, or modified. And you see the way you customize it, again, it's like a blank canvas, and here you can start filling in things logically. And if you want to create additional actions or steps, you see how many options you have. It basically connects to any and every data source available. There is so much to do. There are so many automations you can make. It really gives you the power to extend the platform in numerous ways, which again earlier was not possible. So I'm going to exit this, and then I'm going to show you a couple of more examples. Dashboard, now you can just have embedded Power BI dashboard. So you can create your own Power BI dashboard and then have it embedded here. See, that's how native it gets with Power Platform. But these were the key capabilities that I want to talk about. Oh yeah, one more thing: the chatbots. You don't have them there, but you can just click on Power Virtual Agents and get your chatbot. That's my tile. And see, if you want to create a bot, you just say customer case handling. Let's give it a good name. Jolly. That's the name of the bot. And see how easy it is for you to create a bot. You can just select a language. So I'm going to select Dutch, for example, based in Netherlands, and create. And now it's setting up the bot for you. You don't need to worry about the language. You don't need to worry about the sentiments. You don't need to worry about any mechanism or any functionalities that you need to have. A bot will be ready for you. And just like how you write stories, as simple as that, that's what you need to do here. If you want more knowledge on how PVA works, we can have a different session. But here I can say, for example, it's ready. I can say hello, and this is what I'm testing right now. And then based on what stories are configured in the bot, this is how it shows you. And for again configuring these stories, you don't need to know any language. You don't need to write any single line of code. It's just there. Just go ahead and use it. And the use cases of these individual components, I think I'm going to make a different video for that. Otherwise this video becomes too long for you to process. But these were the key capabilities I wanted to show you for today's video. I wanted to contrast the difference between what Dynamics used to be without Power Platform and what it is right now. It's really amazing what Microsoft has done in the last couple of years to get a platform that is very powerful, but also extend Dynamics to make it very, 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 very powerful. I hope this video was very helpful for you. I hope you were able to get the crux of Power Platform. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments, and stay tuned for my next video. Thank you for listening, and happy learning.